Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 5 of the Express Your Genius Message Challenge. I can't believe it's day 5 already. It's gone so fast, and it's been just such a thrill for me to share this and impart this message, this wisdom from my soul to you. And I know that there's been a lot of value and a lot of benefit gained through these last 5 days, whether you've watched them each and every day or whether you've watched them a little bit more sporadically. You've made it to day 5, so congratulations. And I've just received so many heartwarming and really deeply heartfelt messages thanking me for this information and sharing with me some of the wins. And people have just been completely shifting the way that they are in relationship with their business, their soul work in the world, and therefore, that as a result of being in a new and transformed relationship with themselves. So thanks for sticking with yourself, with me too, and with this challenge, but you've really taken the time, and I really would like to invite you to acknowledge yourselves and thank yourself for making it through each and every day to learn what it is that you are feeling called to learn in order to step into your next level identity, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Next level identity of your business, and therefore, as you now know, that what that means is stepping into the next level identity in your own inner core, in your own being. And so that's gonna be our topic for today. And I also, please stay to the end if you feel called. I'm also going to be making an announcement about something I'm super excited about the Ignite Your Soul Magic program that has been born as a result of this whole process, and as a result of really me taking myself through the steps of more or less a lot of what you've been learning here. There's a lot of other layers. However, I've tried to encapsulate it as best as I can. And this program actually is a compilation of the pieces that I actually bring into my work when I do some private one-on-one work with clients as well. And over the years, I've noticed that there's a framework really that I have developed, and it works so brilliantly, and I've just seen so many amazing transformations, lasting, sustainable transformations in people, in the spirit of their businesses, and in how they communicate their businesses in the world and express their genius. So I'm going to be announcing that at the end, so stay tuned. And so yeah, let's jump in and get started. So far, we have talked about what is your genius, how to activate your genius. We've talked about building a deeper, lasting connection with your intuitive genius. We've talked about deconstructing and peeling away the layers of resistance and dense energy, fear-based energy that lives in our system and drives our system until we actually bring our awareness to it and start to work with it and shift those underlying fear-based beliefs. We have talked about recalibrating. Once we start recognizing and start to more vigilantly and more in a more discerned manner and in a more refined manner, start to be able to recognize that we're going down the path of decalibration and that we need to recalibrate. And so we talked about recalibration and doing that more swiftly. And of course, all of these are practices. All of this is information for you, and hopefully the prompts have been really helpful. I know that through the challenge, I've had a lot of people in not only during the Facebook Live portions of the training, but also in my messenger box, sharing what has really revealed itself to them as a result of doing the prompts. So I hope that you, if you haven't done the prompts, that you maybe go back and do them. You can hang on to this video challenge for as long as you like. It is yours. So you can feel free to listen to it again. And I've had one person say that a couple of people say that they started a study group to really, dive deeper into these components of this challenge and these components of evolution and consciousness raising for themselves. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing what's come from that. So, stepping into the next level identity of yourself as a human being, and then into the next level identity of your soul's work. And as humans, and as we live in a society that is designed and orchestrated in order to have us work in exchange for money, and money being the energetic currency that moves us through life. It is very, and that's a whole other probably 5-day challenge in itself that I might do around the currency of money being a mirror of the currency of your own energetic state. So all that to say that when we talk about moving into the next level identity of our businesses, we're talking about not only the next level of evolution of our business, maybe the next level of our messaging and the deeper level of our messaging, but we're also talking about the next and deeper layer of client attraction, the next and deeper layer of magnetism that we embody, and the next and deeper layer of income level as well. So why do we do this? Why do we talk about moving into the next level identity of our businesses and of ourselves? It's not for the money, I promise. We think it is. At times we think, oh, I've reached this income level. Now, I want to reach this income level. I'm earning 5 figures a month consistently now, 10,000, and now I want to move into the next level. Or I'm earning 3,000 or 2,000 or 5,000, and now I want to move into the next level. And yes, that is an external component of why we want to move forward. But at the end of the day, we want to move into the next level of our identity because one of the core human needs that we have is growth. There are 4 core human needs that I talk about, and one is belonging, one is connection, one is growth, and one is contribution. And so if we are missing, or if there's a weak link in any of those 4 core needs, then we're not expanding. And as humans, we are here to expand. Everything expands. Humans expand, the planet expands, industry expands, ideas expand, creations expand and evolve all the time. And what that does is it feeds that need and desire for growth. And if we can feed that desire for growth by continually expanding into our next level of identity through a means that allows us to fulfill one of the other human needs that we so crave, which is contribution, then we're really elevating our soul's work to a next level, to a level where we are able to contribute based on the mission and the purpose that we're really here to accomplish on this planet. And every single one of you have a deeper mission. And it's really drilling down to what that mission is that will really ignite how to do that, the next steps to take once you really, really become intimate and connect with that deeper mission. And that's, I get really excited about talking about that, because when we step into our next level of identity from a place of service and contribution and desire to contribute, then we are indeed fulfilling our life's purpose, fulfilling our life's mission. And interestingly, in this time, I have been thinking a lot about the next level of consciousness on this planet with this coronavirus that has infiltrated the world. It's infiltrated our consciousness. It's infiltrated our psyches. It's raised the level of potential fear in us. It's really shifted so much in how we think, act, live, breathe, choose. And when we can transform ourselves from the inside out, and when we can embody that next level of evolution in our own consciousness as individual human beings, we are contributing to the larger collective need on the planet to rise, to whatever this is, to whatever the message and the I will say the gift that this kind of pandemic is actually leading us toward. We don't know what that is. And every adversity in history, every tragedy in history, every disaster in history has inevitably, every time, unquestionably led the consciousness of the planet to increase in and rise, and it's led to further expansion. It's led to cures for diseases. It's led to protocols for disaster relief. Like it's always led to a more expansive place. So because we can't fix, repair, solve the planet on our own, what we can do is we can really make a commitment and get serious about and take ownership of and invest in rising out to our own next level of identity and who we are at our core. And when we think about doing that, we are raising our confidence to speak about our soul's genius. We are raising our voice. We are expressing what's truly in our souls. We're expressing the gifts that we uniquely have, blueprinted in our DNA, right? And we've talked about that. We each have this really uniquely blueprinted DNA that we possess, and we are expressing that. And by virtue of expressing that, because expression is creative and creativity is the life force itself, we're actually feeding to the evolution and the next level of consciousness in ourselves, and therefore that ripples into our world, into our communities, into our clients, into our families, and that is the true meaning of contribution. And so it starts with us. So when we talk about stepping into the next level of our identity and we talk about an identity shift, one of the tools, one of the ways that I have come to know that this is possible, and this is one of the ways that I have come to know how, as a creative, as a feeling person, not an analytical system structured based person, as a creative and a spiritual entrepreneur, I have come to see and learn and embody the next level identity in myself. And the tool of embodiment is really the most impactful, powerful, crucial tool that I can share with you that will facilitate you stepping into the next level of who you are and into your consciousness. We talked about the wisdom of the body, and we talked about the intelligence of the body that, in response to every single thought that produces every single emotion, there is a micro response in the body, and it is automatic. It's not something that we turn on or turn off, and it's not something that we dictate. It's literally just an automatic, high level response that the body gives us. And so if we can then take that and think about using embodiment as a tool for stepping into our next level identity, then that is the tool that will bring us into that future timeline, that future you. So many of you have probably done future you exercises or written letters to your future self, and if you haven't, that's fine, but it's a very, very common mainstream idea that works really well. And the reason that it does is that when you can imagine something and you can conceive of something, then you have actually created that reality already. It's just that because you haven't embodied it yet, this reality over here that you've created, because you haven't embodied it yet and you're still here in the old version of you, there's a gap. And you haven't jumped into the future timeline yet because there's a gap, because you're holding on to the old you. So if you think of the current you, which would be the old you, in terms of your future next level reality, your next level identity, when you think of that, is it like, think about, what is the current you still doing? Are you still grinding it out? Are you still just pumping out the systems and the funnels and the consistent visibility calendar that you insist on making sure you follow the list every single day, and all the strategies that have been given to you as an entrepreneur, as an online entrepreneur? Is the old or current you aligned with that, or is it a chore? And is there any resistance around how you show up in your business every single day? Is there any resistance that shows up? And is there tiredness? Is there exhaustion? Are you grinding it out? Are you pushing? Are you forcing? Are you, still afraid of being fully visible with your deeper soul mission, with your deeper message? Are you skirting along the surface of your message because it's safe? Is there resistance to really imparting your deeper message and fully streaming out that genius intelligence and fully allowing that genius intuitive intelligence to stream through and into your heart and back out through your voice and back out through your written word? So just thinking about, I want to invite you to just think about the current you, and what are the resistances and what are the places where you're holding back. And when you think about embodiment, we're talking about how that feels in your body. And so you'll know that there's resistance by virtue of how your body's feeling. And so when you really apply that to your next level identity and your future self, what you want to do is you can apply that same concept of tuning into your body and stepping into that next level identity, stepping into that place in your mind by visualizing, because we all think in pictures. Humans think in pictures. And the minute you think of the picture of you in your new identity, then it prompts thoughts. Right? It prompts thoughts, and thoughts prompt emotion, and emotion prompts a body response. And as soon as you start to visualize, visualization is an initial tool for embodiment. You can visualize how, who you are in your next level. What is the thing that you want the most? And if you think about, okay, I am a thought leader and I'm earning multiple 5 figures a month, and who is she? How does she dress? How does she act? What does she do the first thing she wakes up in the morning? Does she pick up her phone? Does she go running? Does she create something? What does she eat? How does she move? How does she dance? How does she relate? How does she create? And what you're doing is you are defining this next level identity of you as a higher level income earner in this example. How does she contribute? How does she serve? How does she voice? How does she get visible? How does she stream her soul's message out into the universe? And so when you envision her or him, when you envision that next level identity in you, it starts with a picture, followed by some thoughts, followed by an emotion. And as soon as that happens, what you're doing is you are actually instilling that image and that blueprint into reality. And the more you bask in it, the more you feed it with the feeling sense and all of your sensory perceptions, the more you are actually creating the realness of that next level identity. So a practice that I do every single day, and when I don't, I know I haven't, because I feel more resistance as I get kind of pulled back, and then I need to recalibrate. But this practice where you first identify what it is that you want, who you want to become, who you want to be, how you want to show up, the income that you want to earn, the people that you want to serve, the kind of group that you want to have, the kind of connections that you want to have, the kind of activities that you want to engage in, the kind of travel that is going to open up for you, the kind of community that you're in, everything. And so the more specific you get with this image that you create about who you want to become in your next level identity, number one, the more specifics you bring to that image, the better. And once you've brought the specifics to the image, and it starts with an image, the specifics don't actually arrive right at the beginning. The specifics start to fill in. All the little nuggets start to fill in. The more you focus, because this is about embodiment, is about focusing. That's the initial layer of embodiment. So you identify what you want, you write it down, because when you think something and then you write something, it anchors the idea, a secondary layer, and then when you share it out, it anchors the idea and the reality a third layer deeper. So once you come up with what it is that you want, you write it down, you close your eyes. I do this before I wake up in the morning, and I do this before I go to sleep at night. And you imagine that new level identity of who you want to become. And you start to really sink into the sensory experience of that. What is it? What is around you? Who is with you? What does it smell like? What are the sounds that you hear? So you want to pull in the specifics around where are you? What are you doing? Who are you talking to? What's going on? Are you delivering some information? Are you doing a live stream? Are you presenting on a stage? Are you in a one-on-one client session? Are you delivering a group program? Are you what is the scenario and the circumstance of your thought leadership? What's the word? Of where you are in your thought leadership, in your next level desire for who you want to become and how you want to show up. And you bring in the sensory experience. And, for me, I have been a sailor all my life, and one of my desires is to be traveling on water while doing my work. I have had this vision forever of traveling on water and traveling in the mountains skiing and doing my work while moving about those two environments that are so close to my heart. They just give me shivers. So I've accomplished the skiing piece. I've actually moved across the country. I've come to the mountains that I envisioned for so long. I live really close to some 5 different major ski areas. We have manifested a place at one of the ski areas. So all that to say that when you start to envision the circumstances and the environment in which you are living your next level identity, you can start to feel the salt air. Like when I envision the sailing, I literally feel the wind on my face. I feel the warmth. I feel the salt air. I smell the salt air. I taste the salt air. I hear the sound of the sailboat moving through the water. I hear the sound of the halyards on the mast. And so the more perceptibly and sensorily, the more sensory experience you can bring into this visualization that allows you to embody into the next level you, the more you are creating that reality. It's just how it works. It's quantum physics. Napoleon Hill, his quote is a prolific quote, and it's based on science, that whatever man can conceive. So this is the conceiving part, and believe, and the believing and embodiment. If you add embodiment to all of this, then you're really anchoring it in. What a man can conceive and believe, he will achieve. And this is the man that wrote Think and Grow Rich. So here's what you want to do is you want to try it on. I really want to invite you to try this tool on for size and make a commitment to yourself that you will use the tool consistently, because it's always about consistency. It's like building a brand new muscle, because our brain loves to worry, and especially now, especially in the context of this world situation with the state of health in the world right now. It is so easy for our brains to bypass any future visualizing, even the desire to step into your next level identity can weaken by virtue of your brain and that safe, familiar consciousness that is fear-based that we talked about on day 3, to run you, and drive your every move. And you can sit in fear until this is, sorted out, until this passes, as it will, just like everything else. Or you can actually recalibrate from the fear as you get pulled in, as you see social media, news feeds, as you see your news feed, as you hear announcements, as you read articles, as you hear things on CBC radio or whatever radio. And every time you get pulled into that fear, if you can recalibrate with this visualizing embodiment of what it is that you want as opposed to what it is that you don't want, then energy flows where your attention goes. Law of Attraction 101. And so every time you redirect your attention to what you want as opposed to what you don't want, you are building new neural pathways, you're thickening the protein matter around the new neural pathways, and you are strengthening your psyche and your mental mastery, and your intuitive mastery is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. So I want to encourage you to try on this tool. And there's some questions that I'm going to leave you as prompts today that relate to enhancing this experience for you. And one of the questions is of course, what do you want? And another question is, who is the you that trusts that you can step into the next level identity? Another question is what will be your evidence that you've accomplished this? And this is a really important question, because once you start to use this tool and to really start to shift your mindset, first of all, you're reopening the channel for the intuitive guidance to come through to show you the way. And you're also, as it shows you the way and you're taking inspired intuitive action, you are starting to see evidence that this is actually, you are moving into your next level identity. And you are in fact really truly embodying this and creating your new reality. And when you do this, then you start to step into the new you, the new level of who you are. And you can ask yourself, what is this new level Julie believe? What does she think? What does she believe? What does she say? How does she act? And you can ask, what does she believe about herself? What is this new next level identitied person that you can start to embody and step into? What is she, and I'm using she, I'm sorry, because I know there's many men here. I'm using she because I'm a she. That's the only reason. But what does he or she believe about him or herself? And what are the values that are aligning and lining up with her or his next level identity? So when you start to do this, then what you're doing is you're letting the strategy become obvious. You're letting the strategy become aligned from your soul. And the strategies around, well, what is my next step in order to move into this next level identity? What do I need to do? What do I need to say? What's the next post I need to write? Who do I need to call? Who do I need to email? What do I need to do? So this next level, next identity, new identity creation leads you to receiving the answers about the how and the specifics about, this book that you're writing, the specifics about the title of your next chapter, the specifics about what you are speaking about at this summit or event that you've been inviting to, the specifics about how you actually put your presentation together or your offer together, or how you create your offer, or what you name your offer, like all of the specifics and the strategy pieces and how you connect to your people, because there's strategies around all of it. The strategy becomes obvious, and it starts to fall into place, and it starts to show itself to you because you're actually open to the resources showing up, because there's resources that you already have, and then you're open to the resources that are going to come in to fill in the blanks for you. And that is why the intuitive marketing approach and the advantage of intuitive marketing has 3 pillars. And the first pillar we talked about at the very beginning of this challenge is the intuitive mastery. The second pillar is the mental mastery, because you need both. And third pillar is the strategy. And so when all 3 of those moving parts are moving, when all 3 of those are moving together and coming together in synchronicity and in a fluid manner, then you've got a recipe for intuitive marketing and intuitively marketing in a way that doesn't bump up against and doesn't push and doesn't grind, and really helps you to release the resistances that are actually holding you back. So I want to share with you that all of this and the marriage between the content in this 5-day challenge and the content and the interactions that I've had for 5 years with all of my clients, and all of the pieces that we always address and bring into our coaching relationships together that causes the transformation, and the intuitive marketing pillars, all of this has been fodder for birthing this brand new program. It's not brand new. I've run it already, and the Ignite Your Soul Magic 6-week intensive program has just been amazing, and the clients that have actually gone through it have just done amazing things, like and I'm going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to leave you with the question prompts for this challenge. So the clients that have gone through the Ignite Your Soul Magic program have things like one of the clients has really, really, really sunk her teeth into her mission. She literally spent 8 years throwing spaghetti on the wall. Maybe this is my message. Maybe this is my message. Maybe these are my people. Maybe this is my tagline. Maybe I should be talking about this too. Well, I don't want to actually leave this group of people out. So she was just spinning her wheels for 8 years, trying to grow a business and throwing spaghetti on the wall and generating some income, but not consistently, and not in a way that was truly soul aligned. And during the first 2 week actually of the program, she connected so deeply with her actual God-given mission, and everything exploded from that. Everything started to motor from that. It was like the ignition Yeah, ignite your soul magic. The ignition was turned on, and she started running like the car, the vehicle of her, the spirit of her business started to run so smoothly. And the posts she started writing, they actually began to be expressed at a much deeper level, and it was easy for her because she started to just let it flow, and she stopped trying to try this, try this, try that, and stop trying to get it right, and stop trying to appeal to the masses, and started to just really honor. And I would say that this goes for most of the people who have participated in this program, that at the end of the day, they were able to just surrender to the soul's calling, surrender to the soul's voice that has been in there and wanting to come out fully. And, people came into the program because this program is designed for people at any level in business, established businesses, where some people were just starting, some people were well ahead, and the people who were just starting didn't really know what their message was, and therefore were able to actually clarify their message, communicate their message, and shout it out from the rooftops, clear out some of the fear debris that they'd had for a really long time around visibility, start being seen, and start flowing their message. And then people who were at a later stage in their business, who were already visible, already out there, but not with the level of clarity and discernment and soul alignment and depth and connection to their real calling that they came in with. So it's an amazing program. Of course, I'm hugely biased. And it's an intuitive marketing magic intensive, essentially. And it brings the kind of soul into your business that matches you and your genius, like to a T. And that's the thing, is finding that match, finding that intersection. And so it has 6 modules, and during those 6 modules, what we do is we work on expressing your genius and letting it become your message, and really feeding it and fueling it and igniting it. And as your genius becomes ignited and fueled and fed, you start to realize a new level of clarity around who you're really talking to here, and what their pain points really are here, and what it is that they desire. That pain and pleasure is always what we're after. That's the strategy piece, right? It's very strategic to make sure that when we're talking to people, we know what their pain is and we know what the desire is. And so we present as the vehicle or the bridge to take them from pain to pleasure island. So the expression of your genius is that's the foundational, it's a foundational, I'm doing this, it's a foundational like rhythm of what we do in this program. Always pulling in and pulling through and voicing genius, which then informs you as to what your message really is. And then from that, you start to create really hot content that gets noticed. You start to create content that is directly targeted towards the people that you're meant to be serving. And what happens is that they start to hear you. You start to become magnetic. And we talked about magnetism in this program. I do have a 3-day Magnetizing You masterclass in my Intuitive Marketing Advantage Facebook group. Just a side note, but if you want to learn more about the magnetism piece, once you start to become magnetic because you're writing the content from your soul, you're writing it from deep down in your soul, and it's just flowing out. And some people, I had a client participate in the program at the very beginning of the program who said, well, my English isn't great. Well, that was a limiting belief that we needed to pull in the mental mastery piece and really start to peel those beliefs away. And the flow of her content is energizing, magnetic, and it's the energy behind the words. And so hot content is something we create, and we become visible and consistently visible. And the second pillar of mental mastery is also an underlying, what's the word I'm looking for? It's also an underlying, integral, ongoing body of work that we do in order to move through all of these different stages and modules, because new fears arise as we step into our new levels of identity, which you'll be doing in this program. We talked about that a little bit today. And as the new fears arise, we want to really cultivate and continue to build our mental mastery to really shift those beliefs. And the belief shifter tool that is included in this program is powerful, powerful, powerful to help you to shift through into new and rewriting your story, shift into new beliefs, creating new neural pathways that guide you towards elevating yourself and moving into the next level identity of yourself and your business. And so the consistency with the visibility is something that starts to build. And next thing, I mean, I have got people who we just ended actually fairly recently, and people who were not visible, hardly visible, consistent, constant, Facebook group, engagement in Facebook group, growth in Facebook group, of their Facebook groups, and really attracting their audiences the way that they've wanted to. And it comes from soul. So growing and turning on your audience is another piece, is a module, and we talk about that. And there is also a module around building sustainable, aligned systems and strategies and structures that actually are supporting all that I've just talked about. So as opposed to coming into a program and learning all about the strategy, how do I build a Facebook group? How do I do this? How do I get clients? How do I, get visible? How do I start an email list? Those kinds of strategic pieces are absolutely necessary. But what happens is in this program, you don't lead with strategy, you lead with soul, and the strategy becomes obvious. So it's amazing, and I just really, really, really want to invite anybody who's feeling called to join me in the program. It is launching shortly, and I have included a link below here in this email. As you are watching this, you'll have received this by email. You can check out the link, and you can look at the start date. And you can look at all the different bonuses. There are bonuses such as the recalibration tool. There is the belief shifter tool. There is the Intuition on Demand 5-step playbook that is really powerful. There is the Deep Clean toolkit, and anything else that we make up as we go, because this is a process of constant, continuous growing and evolving. So, so there is a waiting list I'm opening up for you if you would like to be on the waiting list. The cost of the program is $9.97, and if you would like to jump into the waiting list, there is a coupon code on the waiting list form. When you opt into the waiting list, you'll receive a coupon code that will allow you to jump into the program with a great promotional bonus. And I really want to encourage you to jump in on the waiting list. I want you to encourage you to send questions. I want you to encourage you to PM me if you're curious but you're not sure. I want to encourage you to, take a stand for yourself. Say yes to yourself if you feel like you want to say yes to yourself. It's time to say yes to yourself. And it could be super easy to cave to the fear of lack right now. And it could also be super easy to say yes to yourself. And as soon as you energetically move in the direction of saying yes to yourself and committing to investing in you and in your soul's calling, your level of deep trust in having this work out for you is going to skyrocket like crazy, and therefore you're going to get evidence that this is working out for you and you are growing your business and you finally landed in the absolute aligned soul vision direction that you want to go. And that evidence will be provided for you, so then you'll go, yeah, this is working for me, as opposed to, yeah, this is not working for me. It keeps not working for me. And that is Law of Attraction 101 as well. What you focus upon expands. So I want to really encourage you to focus on what your soul wants. And your soul may not want this, and that's okay, because that's part of intuitive marketing. Is we really need to be not only okay with, but welcome just the clients that are meant to work with us, just the soulmate clients that are meant to be served by us, and meant to serve and give a lot of value to the world. And some will say yes to you and some will not. And not only to be okay with that, but to actually welcome that and step into your next soul magic stage of your soul magic, step into the next level of your identity and really ignite what it is that you want, and the rest will take care of you. Say yes to life, and life will actually take care of you and move through you. So, all right. Just send me any questions, please. You can reply to this email to send any questions as well. So I cannot wait for the next round to start. And you'll get all the details if you click on the link. You'll get all the details as well, in additional details if you contact me. So I think I've said what I wanted to say about that. I just feel really fired up and I just ignited. And I will be really excited to work with the next cohort of people who decide to join this program. So I want to leave you today with the prompts from this module of this challenge. So here are the prompt questions, and you're also going to see, and you have been seeing, a link to the prompt questions along the way for each day of the challenge. And these questions are included in the prompts worksheet for today as well, but here they are. Who is the you that trusts your genius and to step into the next level of identity? So who is the you that trusts your genius? And this relationship with your genius, with your intuitive genius, is paramount. And so who is the you that actually trusts her or him? It's whatever that looks like for you. And we unpack that in the program, actually. How do you think, act, speak, feel, eat, move, create, relate when you are embodied in that next level of identity for yourself? What do you believe about yourself? Sorry, I probably went pretty quickly. How do you think, act, speak, feel, eat, move, create, relate when you embody this next level of identity? And then there are 4 questions. And the next one is, what do you believe about yourself in this next stage? What are you believing about yourself? As a thought leader, what are you really believing about yourself? How anchored into the worth and the value of what you have to offer and your genius gift? What do you believe about that? What do you believe about your genius and your expression? And finally, how will you feel when you have accomplished this? What's that going to feel like for you? So Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining me on these 5 days. It's been a blast for me and hopefully super valuable for you. And until the next time, and I hope to be privileged enough and have the honor to work with some of you. So take care, and I'm always here if you have any questions for me. All right? All the best. Bye-bye.